Hey everyone, all this week on my channel we have been going through and reviewing all of the new figures in the Star Wars Black Series wave. We've already reviewed the Commando and Thrawn, but today we are reviewing Ahsoka Tano in her Peridea look, also known as Ahsoka the White. It's been about a year since we got our first look of this character in this outfit, and I think we all had the same thought. We were all just collectively wondering when the action figure was going to come out, and that day is today. We've got a little blurb on the back about the world between worlds. It's cool to see that recognized on a figure. Let's go ahead and open this up. We do have a little bit of a backdrop on the blue background here. It's quite simple compared to some of the other ones we've seen. It looks just like some clouds, kind of basic. So first impressions is the likeness on this is really nice. It's a much cleaner paint job than we got last time, and I just see Rosario right out of the box. Whereas on the previous release, I did need to have a friend repaint that for me, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at the articulation here, because I know a lot of people had some issues with like the knee joints on the previous release, but they just come right out of the leg here, and I think it looks a little bit better. The pants, I suppose, are a little bit shorter, which makes this articulation possible. I didn't hate the choice they made with the last one, but we'll compare that in a second. And then she does have these deep cut butterfly joints here that are pretty effective. They're not like import quality in terms of range of motion, but they definitely help. So comparing it to like the previous Black Series release, this does have a custom paint job on it by Frederick's Figures, so that's why it looks so good, but you can see how much likeness is actually there. But the knee joint was just a little bit strange, and I know some people had trouble posing that around. But given the length of the pants, I think it's a better aesthetic choice than what SH Figuarts did in having the cut right in the front of the pants there. So comparing this to the original Black Series head sculpt, and I'm sorry she doesn't have a body, but we can see how much cleaner the paint is and how much more it brings out that Rosario likeness, which on the right with the custom paint job, you can see that that likeness was in the sculpt. It just maybe didn't translate as well once that inkjet paint job on top was done. I'll see if I can get Frederick to repaint this new one for me. I think that would definitely be the best of the three. And other than what we already talked about, there is a little bit of a waist swivel here, just kind of what you would expect. I don't really like getting into articulation too much in my reviews because I find it pretty boring because the figures are largely the same. But the leku on this are pretty firm, like they're not super easy to move around. And it definitely will hinder the articulation on the neck there, so if you're trying to get some poses where she's like looking to the side, it might be a little tricky. Just give you a quick little look here at the details on the back as well. And here you can see how big that butterfly joint is, but it doesn't really get out of the way. There's not as much space there as you would see on an import figure. So I want to try to recreate some poses here from some photos that I found. And I did a quick matte spray on her face. I did find the range of motion at the ankles to be a little frustrating for like widespread poses like this, and I didn't spend too much time on these, so they are going to look a little janky, but I just wanted to give you a quick idea. And the stoic expression on this definitely takes away from some of these poses, like you lose a lot of that dynamism. And for instance, like if we compare this to the SH Figuarts, and yes, she looks a little bit crazy, but we can see how that expression as well as the swoosh effects and the lightsaber add a lot of motion to what is mostly the same exact pose. In this version of Ahsoka the White, it's definitely about her stoicism and just like her newfound clarity, but at the same time there's a lot of action scenes, especially in the finale, where maybe a slightly more furrowed brow would make more sense. And I'm not the greatest opposing Jedi, especially Ahsoka here, but I think you get the idea of like where the range and the limits are. And I did find the lightsabers a little bit finicky, and they kept falling out of her hands while I was posing. And I am going to get her on a hex stand here so we can pull some of the other figures off of my Ahsoka shelf and compare them properly. So this is Sabine with a custom head by Fett Clone, Marek with a custom paint job, of course, and then we also have Morgan Elsbeth with a Sword of Talzin from Bounty Supply Co. on Etsy, and a custom paint job by Frederick's Figures, and then Thrawn, mostly straight out of the box, just with a matte spray like I showed in my video. I'm loving the aesthetic of the show and just seeing all these figures coming together. I think when Captain Enoch and the Night Trooper come out, I'm gonna have to do an Ahsoka shelf series because I do have a lot of really cool stuff from this show. Let me know in the comments below if you're gonna be picking up this figure. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. I have a lot of other figures from this wave to review still. It's taking me so long, but it's been a lot of fun to go through them one by one. I'll probably lump all the Endor figures together in one video, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and ding that bell if you want to see those videos as soon as they go live, including the Darth Maul review. Until then, here are some other videos from my channel that you might enjoy in the meantime, and I will see you all next time.